August 27th, 2016. You're looking at the National Hurricane Center's 5-day forecast. Notice you've got one coming off of Africa that has a 30% chance of cyclone formation in 5 days. Got one that just popped up between Gaston and the East Coast. It's got a 30% chance of cyclone formation in 5 days. You've got one here that's so close to land that I don't think it will develop a lot, guys, and excuse the rocking and rolling. I'm on my old 1976 sailboat right now, and we're getting pretty good waves and wind here in Perdido, Florida. What we may be having to do, if you look at this orange track of Invest 99, I may pull this boat tomorrow. They have a crane here. I moved my boat about 4 miles from where I had it back over to Perdido, and they have the crane here that will lift it if I need to lift it. But we got a 40% chance of cyclone formation in 5 days. I think this is underestimated simply because when I pull this back, guys, once you move from the east coast of Florida here to the west coast, you've got a 7-degree change in water temperature. As you get closer, you have about a 9 to 10 degree water temperature difference, and that is the engine behind these hurricanes. But I want to say this before I go any further. This is one of the most unusual storm patterns I've ever seen in my life, and I've been watching these storms for all of my life. Now, the first hurricane I remember was in 1964, Hurricane Betsy, that decimated New Orleans way before Katrina did. And most of you may not have even been there or remember, but back then New Orleans had a lot of streetcars like San Francisco. All of that got wiped out. Now they have 2 or 3 kind of as a token remembrance of it. You have some, but back then it was up Canal Street, guys, if you remember. But 1964, way before HAARP, way before any kind of interference, the storms were bad. And then the next one I remember was 5 years later, 69, when Hurricane Camille hit Mississippi in my 9th grade high school year. So I've watched these a long time. I want to show you the models. Let's take a look at the entire Atlantic and the visible loop. Now what you're seeing on the right, that line that comes in, guys, is just where it's switching to infrared because the Earth is rotated around and it's no longer facing the sun on this side, or what we call nighttime, but physically the sun is on the other side of the planet. So it's switching from visible images to the infrared, so you get an idea of what you're seeing. You still can have some idea. What you're seeing in top right, tropical storm Gaston, still around 70 miles an hour. If it continues to move west, that could go into a hurricane. If it moves north, that may not, because it may not get to 74 as it gets into cooler water. But notice the area just in front of Gaston, right there. They're saying that may come in around North Carolina in that area and bounce back out. But the main thing we've been watching it for days, is Invest 99. It's like a sleeper. It's a sleeping giant almost, because it's never gotten large, but it's maintained the integrity of a tropical system. What again the difference is, starting going into tomorrow and the 29th, from there to the 30th, guys, a very significant change in water temperature. They're saying it's going to come over the very tip of southern Florida, possibly through the Florida Keys or the Dry Tortugas in that area. And the models some stop out on here, some are curving it right into where we're sitting on our boat now in Perdido, Florida. If you look back, it's again one of the most unusual hurricane patterns I've ever seen. This isn't showing the west coast of Africa. You're seeing some of the islands in the black circle just to the right. We'll take a look at that. But what we're seeing, as bad as it could be if Invest 99 does what I think it's going to do, and I have been for about 8 or 9 days now saying this, that the warm water is going to change everything on this system that you're seeing coming over Cuba now. It's about to approach and come into the Florida Pass there, the Florida Channel, and everything's going to change at that point. Now, same satellite, same camera, but this is the infrared images, and it gives you the cloud tops, the amount of moisture, the entire scenario of what we're dealing with, especially during the tropical season. You can see this storm. It's moving a little further south than they thought, but the entire time that we've watched it as it approached the outer islands, the lower circulation would be just to the north of the clouds. We've seen that time and time again. Now, if you got some high mountains coming through here, that's going to give it some shredding. But guys, this thing could, I hope I'm wrong. This thing could become a very powerful storm before it's said and done. Now, during these videos, I always put the link to our website, and that's because thanks to my wife taking care of it and kind of keeping it straight. If you come down, you've got your earthquakes, but right here you've got hurricanes, you've got the Fox Hurricane Info Center, and it gives you two different methods of watching the storms. So, guys, even if I'm in the middle of a storm and can't put one up, come to the website, check it out for your area. Don't be caught off guard. All of that's there, even the NOAA wind speed that we watch, see that, and the COD radar. So there's no reason to be caught off guard. If you're in the area that you think may be effective, just come over to the website, check it out 2 or 3 times a day. I'm serious, because that's how fast the models can change, and be prepared. If you guys down in Miami, if you have not already stocked up with extra food and water, you need to do it right now. Time's running out on you, because just what I saw in Katrina, and I've said this before, we had 2 weeks with no electricity or water, and without electricity, none of the ATMs work, the grocery stores, the gas pumps, nothing can take your debit card or your credit card. That doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And so you're going to be left hanging out with nothing. Go ahead and get your water, your food, batteries. If you got a generator, get extra gas. As it comes through the Florida Keys, it may not be that strong, but it's not what is going to happen right after that. It's going to hit warm water, and we may see the models change again, anywhere from Texas to Florida. It's been one of the craziest model patterns that I've ever seen. Yesterday, remember, going into Texas. This morning, going into the area that we're at now in the Florida-Alabama line. But all of the models are here, guys. If I can't get to you, you get over here on this website and you check all the Hurricane Center information out, Fox Hurricane again. It will let you know what's going on, even if the Weather Channel is playing history documents like they've been for the last 2 days. I want to change to the enhanced satellite view. This is Invest 99. Remember, guys, this was a big circular blob this morning on the video. The first frame you're seeing now was the last frame from this morning. So it's spreading out into the Gulf. Also, the entire Gulf now is full of moisture. We've been getting high winds and waves for 2 days. I've got some images, guys, and I had my computer crash, my laptop, and I had to re-upload Windows, and it doesn't have all the apps, but I've got some amazing images from along the beach here that I'm going to get up as soon as possible. But right now, just pay attention to this. See the storms already pulling off the Florida west coast and pushing into the Alabama, Mississippi, Florida Peninsula area. It's all part of this system. I'm sitting here on a boat getting rocked by the waves, and you can feel it. If you've been through it as many times as I have been, and I've sailed through the back end of Hurricane Frederick in 1979 in 20-foot seas for 2 days. Didn't mean to, just happened to get caught in it. But this could change, guys. The entire Gulf is full of warm water and moisture. If Invest 99, as it passes over Cuba and turns north, this could be a big deal. It may not get to a major Cat 3 or Cat 4 or 5 hurricane. There's so much moisture. This is 10 times as much in the Gulf now as when I did about a 4 or 5 day warning on the Louisiana floods, if you remember. Now, check out the latest model. This is the precipitation and sea level pressure along with the streamline models. What you're seeing is the Invest 99 comes in. It's slightly to the east of where it was this morning. It's coming more into the Panama City, further south area of the Florida Panhandle, but this could change by in the morning. But what it's telling us, guys, it's coming into the Gulf. It's going to hit this hot water, and regardless if it hits from Texas to Florida, you're going to have flooding rains. Pray that it's not in southern Mississippi and Louisiana, where everyone's trying to recover now from thousands and hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses. They weren't just flooded, guys, they were destroyed. And this is not setting up to be good. Even if we have a strike into Mobile Bay or Gulf Shores, Alabama, you're still going to have rain in New Orleans. The best scenario, and I'm not saying that because Florida we get a lot of rain, but for it to curve back and go over Florida in the southern Georgia area and stay out of the flood-soaked areas. Or the best scenario would be to go west and put out some of those fires. That's not going to happen. It's just not in the way that these jet streams move. But guys, we're watching it again through the 30th. Pay attention every day. Don't wait on my videos because it may take me a minute to get them up. Just go to the website and check it for yourself. Knowledge is good. It's a heads up. Be safe.